We've not got no need for your help.
Have no fear, good man. Our labors shall be done quickly. The prowlers to be banished for good.
Milton, look!
Geralt!
In the flesh.
Hail, Witcher! Let us go inside and greet you as befits an old friend.
And you, fear not. We shall put an end to the rule of outlaws, soon.
Found your message on a notice board.
You see, Pomeran? I told you. The griffin at White Orchard. I knew that were we only to follow the tracks of its slayer, we would in the end find Geralt.
Milton de Peyrac-Peyran and Pomeran de Lawnful. Good to see you both. Been years.
Be assured, we share your joy.
You must forgive us our, surroundings. When we pledged to place the village under our protection, the village elder gave us this hut as our lodgings. He swore it is the best hut in the village.
Get involved in some squabble?
We discovered that in retreating, the Redanian garrison had left this land's tillers at the mercy of numerous plagues. The tyranny of bandits the most onerous among them. These plunderers shall soon descend on this village to collect tribute. Milton and I will dissuade them.
We are both sworn to fight injustice and oppression wherever they rear their heads. The matter does not concern you, of course, but do us the kindness of waiting. Once we have dealt with these marauders, we have a matter we must present to you.
No point fighting bandits. Kill these and others just as bad, or possibly worse, will come in to fill the void.
To cast a blind eye upon the evil, there is no honor in it.
Can't stay here to protect these folk from the dangers that come their way daily. Saw what I saw. Heard them urge you to leave these raiders alone. Must have good reason to do that.
Do you suggest that should we help, we assume responsibility for their fate, for their lives? This burden we cannot agree to bear.
Geralt speaks wisely. We know neither this land, nor its peoples, nor its customs. And we have come with another duty altogether.
How I long to return to Toussaint, where all is simpler.
Soon, my friend, soon. First, let us convey our missive to Geralt in the manner tradition ordains.
So fess up. What brings you such a long way?
We are to deliver Her Grace the Duchess's message in full, with all due ceremony. For tradition
Is sacred in Toussaint. All right, fine.
Most honorable Geralt, slayer of monsters and all evils nefarious, which prey on the defenseless of this world. Whereas never have you been known to deny help to the innocent, nor leave widows and orphans to fates undeserved. Answer you now our present summons. Free us from the beast which floods our streets with blood, and sows panic in the hearts of rich and poor alike. Come to our aid, Witcher. Thus humbly beseeches you the star-crossed city's most gracious protectress, Her illustrious Highness, Duchess Anna Henrietta.
Shall you answer her call?
Might be the most fervent request that I take a contract ever. And the most polite. And now we've got all that behind us. I want to hear more about this beast. Some kind of monster? Just guessing.
Most assuredly, though no one has caught a good look at it as yet. Our only sure witnesses. The bodies massacred in a brutal, horrid manner.
Look, some sketches drafted from descriptions given by those who claim they glimpsed the beast. Each quite different. To my mind, these witnesses lie.
How many victims so far?
2. When Her Grace learnt of the second, she discharged us immediately to fetch you, promising grants of land and fortunes in gold, should you answer her summons.
An ill wind blows, Geralt. The beast cannot be tracked. Folks say it wields black magic. Also, both victims were nobly born, and the start of a tourney draws near.
Beast wields black magic? What makes you say so?
The first victim vanished between bites at a feast. Of the feast-goers, none noticed this. They saw but an open window, then heard desperate cries from the street below, where a corpse had just been found.
The second killing, similar. A night in a locked room. Servants all about the house. Guards all around the estate. Yet the beast somehow got him out, dragged him to the town square, and killed him there. No one saw, nor heard a thing.
We have no fear of creatures against which sword and shield protect. But of this beast, nothing is known. Save that it cannot be traced, kills effortlessly, and with no rhyme or reason we can discern.
Anyone tried to hunt it? Knights errant, for example?
Ha! Many have tried. Baiting, waiting in ambush, but to no avail.
The beast is clever. It evades all traps and attacks of a sudden. It is like a ghost.
An experienced tracker. This is what we need, with knowledge of monsters. In short, we need you.
I sometimes think back to all the contracts I've ever taken from sovereigns. Can't name hardly any where I came out ahead.
You cannot be thinking to refuse.
No. Just struck by a thought. How the Duchess can sometimes be... demanding.
So you accept the contract. Excellent!
We must set off at once. We long wanted this land searching for you. Yet time is of the essence.
Ready to go, soon as you're packed.
Ha! Then post haste to Toussaint.
To Toussaint! Toussaint, the land of love and wine.
Exactly how I remembered it.
You will find Beauclair has changed some these past years.
Walk about when you have the chance. You will see for yourself.
To me, place always seemed straight out of a fairy tale. Knights errant, elven palaces.
You insinuate that we are somehow odd? I shall prove you wrong. This I pledge on the Heron. Watch out!
I swore I'd kill a monster! All for one and one for all! Honor! World and country!
Big beast. Tackling it single-handed? None too wise.
Neither is love born of wisdom, Witcher. So, Guillaume, out with it. Which fair damsel inspired you to vow to kill that filth?
The most beautiful among them.
If he wishes to guard her name a secret, he need not reveal it.
You I do not know, sir, nor seem you a knight, yet still I am profoundly grateful, nay, indebted to you for your succor. This trophy, sir, is yours.
I'll take the trophy, why not? Could find someone who'll pay to buy it. Put up a good fight against the giant. Got experience battling monsters?
None. In Toussaint we mostly chase bandits. But I vowed I'd bring my heart's champion the head of a monstrosity, as the famed Gottfried, known as the Giant Killer, did.
You don't mean to hunt the beast, I hope. The matter's best left to Geralt.
Another challenge awaits me. Yet if Geralt is to hunt the beast, he ought to know. It struck again. The river surrendered a corpse. It washed up in the meander by the cockatrice. Damien de la Tour's guardsmen are there already, securing the area.
Securing the area? Better go there now before they trample any tracks, manhandle any evidence.
Set forth, then. I shall ride for the city to inform her gracious magnificence that Geralt has arrived. We'll meet later, near Guillaume's tent at the tourney grounds. I shall take you then to see her grace.
Can't get used to the way you knights talk, especially how you switch back and forth between flowery and, well, near normal.
We are knights errant, in the service of her gracious magnificence. When we appear in her name or speak on her behalf, we are bound by tradition. No one here. They must have removed the body already.
Let's look around, make sure they didn't miss anything. Hobnailed boots, multiple sets of prints. Ducal guard, clearly. Let's see where they went. Walked along the shoreline.
Perhaps the body lay on the bank.
Anything taken by the current ends up in these shallows.
Yes, the strength here.
Got guests. Careful.
I will find you all! Or my name is not Milton the Pirate!
Bastard.
Boots!
Damn it. Drawn here by the smell of blood. Let's keep looking. Only blood-soaked scraps left of the victim's clothing. Good quality cloth.
A wealthy victim, correct?
Looks it. Blood. Guardsmen pulled these nets out of the water, then cut the mutilated body free. Gonna dive in, make sure they didn't miss anything. Notice anything interesting?
Alas, nothing.
Chief. Monogrammed DLC. A noble's accessory, clearly. Need to comb the bank. Look, a boat was launched here. Guardsmen must have loaded the body parts onto it, taken them somewhere. Need to find out where. I'd like to look at the corpse before it starts to decompose.
The inn. Its patrons must have seen the guardsmen, which direction they took. We should ask there.
One thing. Found a handkerchief in the water. Monogrammed DLC. Mean anything to you?
Delacroix? It cannot be. Was it he the beast slew?
Seems so. Knew him well?
Long past. We were close friends once, but our paths diverged. He was a man of extremes, standing by his companions no matter the odds, fighting his foes to the bitter end.
Foes? You have a lot of them?
He did, but I do not see what that has to do with the beast. Ah, Geralt, you've struck a raw nerve. Memories of a time long past, to which I'd rather not return now.
I understand. We can talk later. Let's go to the tavern.
I shall have to leave you soon. Return to court.
Barely got back to Toussaint.
A knight in the service of Her Illustrious Highness knows no rest. In fact, I'd feared I would return too late to fulfill my duty. Yet it seems I've arrived in the nick of time. Once you have finished examining the corpse, be sure to report to Henrietta.
Henrietta?
Her Grace, the Duchess. I forget myself at times. We address each other by our first names in private. Never in Palmerin's presence, however. He finds such familiarity offensive.
Send the whip await those running riot.
A watering hole for traders, smugglers, boatmen. But you will find no better crayfish chowder in all Toussaint.
Hold in someone to tend to the beast. Killer from the north, they say. What? With no lads brave enough? Of course we have. But bravery's not enough against the beast. It wields dark powers. Your reputation precedes you, Geralt Witcher.
By my troth, could that be the musty scent of fresh pâté?
Naught else, Sir de Peyrac-Peyran. I see time has not dulled your senses.
We would be honored if you would join us. Your companion as well.
But why do I not detect even a whiff of crayfish chowder?
No soup today, on account of there being no crayfish. I reckon you've not heard, but all I caught was a corpse. I awoke at the crack of dawn, as I do each day, but when I looked up, I beheld a blood-red sky.
This corpse is precisely why we're here. For the man whom you've invited to join you at the table was summoned from a far-off land by her gracious magnificence. He is tasked with tracking and killing the beast.
We invited two men to join us, yet since Sir de Peyrac-Peyran in temperament is more akin to hare than hound, I surmise the other is the hunter. With whom do we have the pleasure?
Name's Geralt.
A humble introduction. You've clearly not tarried long with Sir de Peyrac-Peyran.
Spare us the petty insults. Geralt is a master of the witchering trade. He has questions concerning the beast's last victim.
I was the one to find the corpse. The sun had just risen when I awoke, sat straight up in my bed, looked out the window, and beheld a sky red as blood.
Ask Geralt, please, or we shall be here till winter.
Need to examine the body. Know where they took it?
They ferried it across, then loaded it on a cart and hauled it to a cellar at Corvo Bianco to keep it cool, see?
What? Why, Corvo Bianco is Baron Russell's estate. When he learns they've turned his cellar into a morgue, he'll set his hounds on them.
While you were gallivanting about the north, his vineyard was auctioned off.
Who was that? Woman who just left. Didn't see her before. Didn't notice her walk in either.
Doubtless Linnis, the innkeep's daughter. But hold, Geralt, because this is an outrage. Russell's vineyard was auctioned off? Inconceivable.
It is no secret the Baron had gambling debts up to his ears. It finally came time to collect. His creditors auctioned off his property. The Ducal Chancellery bought it, in fact. Russell now bunks with his brother in Vicofaro.
I told Russell he'd get his comeuppance. How long can one throw on past heroics? His creditors must finally have defined that his promises meant nothing.
Such are the times. Today's knights are pale shadows of the heroes of yore.
It's true what they say. God sent the beast to punish us for straying from the old paths.
Thanks for the hospitality. Time I examined the corpse.
Corvo Bianco lies a short way from here, near the tourney grounds. Just follow the road and you'll arrive.
Not coming with? Oh yeah, duty of some sort calls.
Some sort? Her Grace bestowed a great honor on me, even before we departed for Velen. I'm to play the hare during this year's game in the palace gardens. When you see me in my costume, you will wet yourself laughing.
A little tempted to ask a few questions, but it sounds like a long, complicated story. One involving lengthy digressions into local history and tradition. So, see you later, Milton, and good luck. Sounds like a fight. Have to hurry. Come on. Damn it. Killer must still be here. Killed with a single blow. Throat torn open by man-like jaws. Man-like, except for long fangs. Cellar. Gotta be. River muck. Carried the body in his cart. Busted ribs, blood from the ears. Took a solid hit. Massacred by a vampire. Not an Ekimara, though. Or a fletter. Bruxa. Gotta be. Footprints. Small, bare feet. Lead deeper into the cellar. You. Saw you at the inn. I know what you are. Don't know why you killed these people, though. Clearly wasn't for their blood. We don't have to fight.
You are wrong. I cannot let you leave.
Stinks. Waterlogged. Both hands amputated. Body was quartered just as I thought. Laid in water for some time. Head swollen, and something took a few bites out of it. Something in the throat. A pouch, bulging with coins. Guardian florins from several different provinces. If the murderer did this, means we're dealing with a sentient thinking beast. Body was chopped up after death. Blows struck with great force, but bones sliced through, not crushed. Creature that killed him had long claws, sharp as a witcher's blade. First sank its claws into the victim's heart. No Bruxa did this. Third hand. A spare? Except it's clearly not the victim's. Guardsmen must have not noticed it as they picked everything up. How's this possible? Still warm. Blood still flowing? Several monster species can regenerate. Never heard of that happening to their severed limbs, though. Or of their limbs seeming completely alive after so much time. Examine the tissue more closely later. Might learn something. So, murderer was clearly a monster, but not a Bruxa. But then why'd the Bruxa come here for the severed hand? And who does the hand belong to? Why the hell's it still warm? Now, pouch shoved down the victim's throat. What's the significance? And why was he chopped up into pieces? Lots of questions, no answers so far. Need to know about the other victims. I'll ask Palmerin to get me in to see the Duchess. Need to speak to the Duchess, urgently.
All right, you scamps. Story's done. Go find your parents.
But the Palmerin, what about the story of Rittik and the dragon?
A tale's for another time. But take a good look at the man who stands before you now. This is Geralt of Rivia, the master witcher who lent his valiant hand to the defeat of the giant Goliath.
Master Witcher, is it true virtue always trumps villainy?
Yeah, virtue always wins.
But the Black Knight, he's a villain and he wins.
The cutter of Casteldaccia, too.
Moral victory, that's what counts.
Rubbish.
Now, that will do for questions. Go find your parents. Her Enlightened Highness has doubtless arrived at the tourney grounds to watch the battle in the arena. If we hurry, we'll be in time to speak with her before the spectacle begins.
Lead the way. Who's fighting? Nilfgaardian gladiators?
Close, but not quite. As you will soon see.
Someone's gonna fight a Shaelmaar with only some bells on its tail to confuse it, slow it down?
Whatever is the problem? The beast is a gift from the Emperor, no less.
This is dangerous. Bells on its tail aren't enough.
I saw the spectacle of the sword at the arena in Nuremberg. There, a knight the Shelmar with bells on its tail?
Might have gotten lucky. Shelmar might have been lame. Who knows? Only a Witcher has a real chance against a healthy Shelmar. And that's not even every Witcher. Besides which, releasing a monster that dangerous in front of a crowd, plain irresponsible. Who's going to fight the beast?
Guillaume, the young man you met.
Yeah. Mentioned he'd promised his heart's captor a monster trophy.
Great love demands great sacrifices.
Let's go.
I dedicate my imminent victory to fair Lady Vivian.
It's begun. The fight shall have to end first. We must wait.
Got a bad feeling about this. Damn it. We have to help him. Gotta keep it down. Can't even tell where we are when it hears us.
Alas, for lightning, the beast heaved its foul girth, let loose a roar, and knocked him to earth. And down came the Witcher in one mighty bound. It fights to the beast, its plans confound. The fate of the beast has been weighed by the gods. Soon the Witcher shall triumph against all odds. Out, out, brief flame. And thus the Witcher's life was snuffed. All our hopes, alas, had turned to dust. The Witcher waited till the time was true, then twirled, danced, and spun, struck the monster right through. Like a bow who leaves at the love's first spurt, so the Witcher wooed the Shelmar that its foul heart hurt. Dodge, dive, flee, faint, it's... The Shelmar lies defeated by Geralt of Rivia, master of the witchering trade. Behold, as the last gasps of life seep from the beast.
Master Geralt, do what you must. Finish the deed!
Monster's no threat. No need to kill it.
A victor may always show mercy. It is his right. Long live Geralt the Merciful! Pikemen, see to the beast.
Guillaume.
The The lad came damned close to dying.
I'm fine. Not hurt at all. Vivian?
Smile as befits a hero and keep silent. Speech clearly pains you. She approaches.
Geralt, we must talk. Vivian.
You shall talk later, in the medic's tent.
Geralt, magnificent, breathtaking.
Your Grace.
We knew that to summon you was a brilliant idea. We are delighted, ravished to have struck upon it.
And I'm truly, honored.
See to our young hero. Hop, hop. For we must make off with Geralt. We should talk. We had been long awaiting your arrival. Had nearly lost hope. Then suddenly, that entrance, so spectacular.
Your Grace. Shaelmars are dangerous creatures, even to knights in full-plate armor.
Nonsense. In Toussaint, knights have battled beasts for mere glory since time immemorial. True. Guillaume suffered a few bumps, scars, and bruises, but in return gained eternal glory as he who slew the monster.
What about the crowd? Say the Shaelmar had vaulted into the stands. Would have been a massacre.
Geralt, though we value your fortuitous intervention in the arena, we would remind you your services have been retained, and as shall soon become clear, you will be generously compensated for completing another task altogether.
Your Grace, my contract. I'd like to discuss it.
Naturally, but not here. We shall need Damien. He led the investigation pending your arrival. But wherever could he be? Come, we must find him. Tell us, have you come alone? Or did Viscount Julian accompany you?
Wish to see Dandelion, Your Grace?
Yes. I mean, no. Yes. But solely to tell him we regret. Yes, deeply regret rescinding the death sentence we so justly handed down upon him. If we could turn back time, we would make certain he sat in a tower till he rotted. No, we would ensure he was broken on the wheel, then drawn, hanged, and quartered. Ah, the very man we would entrust with these tasks. Damien de la Tour, captain of my personal guard.
Your Grace. Witcher.
Greetings. Sorry to have to tell you, but the guardsman handling the last victim's body...
I know already. The creature in the cellar of Corvo Bianco. Was it the beast?
No. A bruxa, a kind of vampire. Not the beast, but tied to it in some way.
You know this how?
Through careful analysis of the evidence, both on the riverbank and at Corvo Bianco.
Do you mean to insinuate the investigation thus far has been sloppy?
Geralt insinuates nothing of the sort. We must listen to him attentively.
I examined the body of the beast's last victim. Might have found something. Need to analyze it. A quiet place, that's what I could use most right now. And maybe the help of an alchemist or a mage. Also like to hear all you know about the previous victims. Take it Sir de la Tour is my man for that.
Firstly, call me Damien, please. Secondly, you should know I spoke against summoning you here. I've heard much about you. You bring trouble, or thus far have, always. And we've enough trouble as it is. Yet we are capable of defeating the beast on our own, without an outsider's help. I've no doubt about it.
Damien, we settled the matter of the Witcher's employ some time past. Definitively. Since you have broached it nonetheless, let us discuss Geralt's pay. Are the legends true? Do Witchers usually demand that which you find at home yet did not expect.
Not quite, Your Grace. Law of surprise, it's something we invoke at times, but rarely. Usually we just take gold.
Disappointing. This law sounds rather romantic. On the other hand, on returning to the palace, we would likely find impatient petitioners or a set of sample fabrics for a new dress. Poor rewards, both. I fear you'd not have much use for any of the surprises we are likely to come upon. Thus, we've decided you shall receive the deed to a vineyard, Corvo Bianco, and a sum of coin. You will doubtless consider this adequate. Title to the vineyard shall be given to you at once. Surely you'll need lodgings while you hunt. The coin, however, will be yours only once you have slain the beast.
Lovely, generous gesture, Your Grace. But Corvo Bianco, isn't it the Duchy's temporary morgue?
Is it now? The Chancellery's bungled things again, we fear. Not to be left unsupervised for one instant. Yet, in its mood, a morgue should present minimal problems to a witcher. What's more, nothing enhances a wine's reputation better than a grim legend.
Thank you, Your Grace. I accept the contract, of course. But as I said before, I'll need some information. How'd it start? Who was the first victim?
Crespi was the first to die. He was famed once for his many glorious tournament victories. Then he grew old, hung up his sword, and took to winemaking.
Crespi was not loved by the wine merchants. He was ruthless in business and thought to cheat many a time. He asked us for a dispensation from all court ceremonies. We did not grant it. We could not. Once you've taken the oath of a knight, you remain a knight till death.
How'd he die? Where'd they find the body?
Quite unusual, the circumstance. He was at a feast when suddenly one of his fellow feastgoers noticed he was missing. The town watch found him an hour later. On his hands and knees, propped against the town pillory, his sword hanging from his neck. He had died of wounds inflicted with claws, not a weapon. Blows of great force.
So he died suddenly, but the body was on its knees, meaning someone posed it.
So it seems.
Second murder. Tell me what you know.
In the city, there are certain nooks. No one reasonable ventures there after dark. Ramon Dulac's corpse was found in one such place. With the first murder, terror gripped the city. Its inhabitants grew wary, kept to safe areas. Consequently, news of the second victim came to us from a group of concerned cut-purses.
Criminals fear the beast? Telling in a way. Take it you've excluded the possibility that Ramon died at the hands of these bandits.
Do you believe me an amateur? Not hands, but claws killed Ramon Dulac. The wound was deep, clean.
His body was found in a gutter, dressed in nightshirt and cap, a pillow placed under his head, and his sword replaced by a bed warmer. Ramon Dulac, a knight who but a dozen years past was an advisor to our father, the Duke.
Someone went to a lot of trouble to make him look ridiculous. Maybe revenge was the motive.
It's not out of the question. Dulac had shady dealings with the criminal underworld, but no one ever came forth with concrete proof of any misdoings.
So, first two victims were knights, best years behind them.
The same could be said of the third. Sir Delacroix was wont to claim that in modern times, knights face new challenges, enterprise being the latest addition to the chivalric virtues.
He made a veritable fortune in the grain trade. Palmerin even nicknamed him Sir de la Stinchi.
Found a coin pouch on his body. Contained florins dating from various times, hailing from different provinces of the Empire.
Delacroix loved coin, true, but had no patience for numismatics.
Lots of similarities between the victims. All the bodies were found in strange places under extraordinary circumstances. Seems the murderer, whoever or whatever it is, has some meaning to convey.
These were honorable men. We are horrified by the disdain, the disrespect with which they were treated. These were knights of Toussaint. Blast it.
Might be the point. From what you say, none was a model of virtue. Ever considered that's what the beast's trying to draw attention to?
All the murdered men were knights who swore fealty to the 5 chivalric virtues. And even if
Knights of Toussaint swear fealty to what virtues exactly?
honor, wisdom, generosity, valor, and compassion.
5 virtues. Why are they so important to your knights?
Strange question.
Your Grace, forgive me. I'm a foreigner trying to understand another land's customs.
You are forgiven. According to legend, the virtues we cultivate were bestowed upon us by the Lady of the Lake. How we truly came to espouse them, none remember. In Toussaint, we believe men of low birth should be simple-hearted and obedient. We expect much more, however, of our knights. They are to be soldiers and courtiers, lords and servants. Thus, the need for clear moral guidelines. At the time of his dubbing, a knight vows to demonstrate throughout his life honor, wisdom, generosity, valor, and compassion.
Beast seems to be pointing up moral decay, denouncing it. Victims were all humiliated. Might have been murdered to emphasize their lack of specific chivalric virtues.
Honor compromised by the pillory. Wisdom by ridicule. Generosity by a coin pouch shoved down a throat. It seems to fit true, though not perfectly.
Can't discount the theory if it's on the lips of everyone in town. Say our reasoning's right. Next murder will be just as showy and denounce the victim's lack of the 4th virtue, valor. We can also assume that victim will be an elder knight.
Let's think. At the moment, all the knights are either at the tourney grounds or in the palace gardens. Our annual hare hunt shall begin there shortly. Have you heard of the custom?
Milton mentioned something. Seemed excited to prance around in a bunny costume. Not sure why. Hang on. Strange circumstances. A knight advanced in years. The famed cowardice of rabbits.
Could it be that simple? Is Milton de Peyrac-Peyren the next victim?
Milton also knew Delacroix. Told me so down by the river.
Damien! To me, something so obvious. De Peyrac-Peyren, Crespi, Delacroix, and Delac formed a knightly team. It was years ago, but...
They were a team?
They were close friends, tightly knit, and as such earned the trust of our father, the Duke. We often witnessed him turn to them with delicate matters. Later, their paths diverged.
Unlikely to be a coincidence. Beast must know it too. It's a lead, I'm sure. Your Grace, we need to find Milton, immediately.
Rather problematic. You see, the garden entertainments are due to start, and he's disguised as the hare, hiding somewhere, waiting for some tipsy courtiers to find him. The hare's hiding place is a carefully guarded secret.
We must call off the game, at once.
First and foremost, we must remain calm. Damien, order the garden searched immediately, but discreetly. By no means can we disrupt the festivities. Panic will only incite the beast to strike sooner. And you, Witcher, follow me. My gardens, my night, I shall take the fall. A murder is out of the question. I will not allow it. Not near my palace. Horses? Ready our horses! Your Grace!
What the hell? Why, I should... Your Highness,
Mind it doesn't get wrinkled. Onward! Hey! That is silk! Be careful! Give it to me! Faster, Geralt! Right like the wind!
Faster. Your grace seems right at home in a saddle.
This way! Through town! Try not to lose your way! Sharp right! Take care! You got lost!
Sorry.
It's here! Just round the corner!
Hurry!
We must go to where the game is being held. The participants must find a unicorn's horn, a golden fish, and a phoenix egg. With these in hand, they can deduce where the hare, Milton, hides.
Mean we need to find those things too?
We've no other option. But time is of the essence, so we shall have to... On second thought, through here. I shall show you where the hunt plays out. Then we will split up. You will get hold of the unicorn horn and the golden fish. While I nab the phoenix egg. That will be quickest.
Golden fish. Do I need a rod or a net?
Please, Geralt. It's not a real fish. Look there, towards the water. See the lights? The hunters are trying to hook the fish from boats. You must simply dive in and find it.
The unicorn. How do I catch it?
It's terribly skittish, true, but I'm sure you will find a way to earn its trust. It runs around, over there, look. The golden fish and the horn both contain things or clues that will help us find Milton. Once you have fish and horn, find me among the other phoenix egg hunters. All clear? Then let's get to it.
Vive la fête!
What the blazes?
Did someone just dive in the water?
Perhaps that's the way to do it.
Sure.
Hey, wait. Stop. It's important.
King Cormorant, sire, accept this offering we bring. Prithee cast upon us your merciful eye and bear before us its secrets.
As the moon is heavenly course doth trace, in my domain I await that moment of grace, when a soul of good or ill repute brings me a gift, fitting tribute.
A key.
Perhaps an apple will work. Or some sweets.
We would not be in this predicament, dear sister, were you still a virgin.
Do you really wish to have this conversation again? Here and now?
Hush, or you'll spook the beast. We shall try the sweetness.
Hey, folks. Gonna have to ruin your fun. Sorry.
Who's that?
Crispy apple. Should like that like any other damn horse. An apple. Yum yum. Easy.
If you please, Your Grace.
We do not please. We act out of the highest necessity. All shall be explained later.
But it's against the rules.
I am the rules. Geralt! At last.
Got a key and a clue.
And I've another. Show me yours. Who wrote this drivel? I begin like a groan, hollowed out with ease, then end like a mouse, with a head of hard cheese.
Let's see. Groan. With ease gives us green, right? And mouse with the head of hard cheese. Greenhouse?
You're a genius. Several greenhouses in the gardens, indeed, but only one looks, the key to which looks just like the one we found.
Greenhouse it is then. Let's go. Wait here.
What the butch?
What was that?
I'm here.
This belonged to you, maybe?
It did, but you may keep it. I've a new one. I do not know you. I've done you no harm. Yet first you butchered a Bruxer who was dear to me. Now you pursue me. Why?
You've killed 4 innocent people, at least.
And you? How many innocents have you cut down?
Not here to talk about me.
Yet that is exactly what we are doing. So, did they send you after me? Who are they?
What do you mean, they? Duchess hired me. You've been murdering her subjects.
Is it as simple as that? I would ask you to convey to the Duchess that I've but one victim left, but you'll not get the chance. You were to stay where you were. Regenerate!
I know you're in trouble. I can help.
I'll help myself!
No, he's my friend.
Yes, Geralt, it's me.
Regis? You all right?
All is well. All's in order. Wounds such as these heal on vampires in moments. But we've not seen one another in ages, my friend. At least in human terms, that is.
How's this even possible? Last I saw you...
I was a bubbling, shapeless smear, having been rather spectacularly melted into a column of a certain castle. In somewhat better shape now, as you can see. Hardly peak form, mind you, but were I human, folk would think me a demigod, I dare say.
I'm sorry. What happened, it was my fault. Never got a chance to apologize.
No need, Geralt. Bygones. I did not have to join you on that expedition. No one twisted my arm.
Miraculous regeneration. How do you manage it?
I had help. From the one you hunt.
Him? How? And what have you been doing all these years?
Not the time nor place for such stories. I suspect we'll get a chance to speak at ease and at length later. Now, however, we must deal with the reason that brought us both here.
Local serial killer seems to obey you. Maybe you could talk him out of it, convince him to stop murdering.
Why do you think I've come? It shall not be easy, as Dettlaff can be rather stubborn. Though you must certainly recall that neither do I surrender readily.
So that's his name. He's your friend?
You might call it that. Though Dettlaff is... how would you humans put it? More bestial than I am. But not to worry. I'm working on him.
Haven't exactly done a great job with that. He's killed one knight since I got here. At least 3 others before I arrived.
For good reason, I'm sure. Understand, Dettlaff is not some decadent shit who kills for sport, or to assuage a dryness of throat or a dullness of mood.
So in your opinion, what are his reasons?
Precisely what I wish to find out. And then I will convince him of the error of his ways.
Got a lot of faith in the guy.
Despite appearances to the contrary, you two are quite alike. You've both noble hearts, yet you both are wont to perform ignoble deeds. When circumstances force you to, of course. Remember the year 964?
That was 3 centuries ago.
Blind fear gripped Rivia, Lyria, and Spala. Women and children were dying. Their mutilated, dismembered corpses littered the fields.
Brute of Lyria. Read about it. Chewed up almost 200, then fell to a common poacher supposedly armed with a dagger blessed by some prophet.
It fell to Dettlaff, who then found a poacher asleep in the brush near his snares and dropped the fiend's corpse at his feet. And thus, a legend was born.
Vampires rarely help humans. Must have had his own agenda, hunting the beast.
You err. He slew it for one reason alone. The monster killed a lad who once, in the street, had offered Dettlaff an apple, expecting nothing in return.
Terribly noble of him.
You do not have a monopoly on altruism, my friend. Vilgefortz melted my body. Dettlaff found what was left. As per our codex, he had a choice. To leave me where I was, or to care for me and nurture my remains. He chose the latter. Regenerated me at no small expense in his own blood. Do you know what that means to a vampire? The gravity of the endeavor?
Probably same thing it means to a human. You owe him your life.
Much more than that. The act itself made us blood brethren. A bond so strong humans cannot even imagine. Which is why I know something ill is afoot.
Always had an overdeveloped sense of empathy.
Each vampire has a unique talent. One they hone over centuries. It's precisely what renders us so difficult to classify. Dettlaff's trump card is his herd instinct, his tribal propensity. In point of fact, he prefers the company of lesser vampires and shuns that of humans. If he walks among you, killing egregiously, it can only mean something's upsetting immensely.
Anything specific? Some set of things that'd be likely to set him off?
How should I say this? Detlef doesn't understand men, their world, its rules, its conventions. He's naive in a sense. He doesn't comprehend your games, knows not what it means to lie, deceive.
Suggesting he's maladjusted, and venting his rage.
I'm suggesting maladjustment can at times breed conflict. But is it the case this time? I cannot say, but intend to find out.
Gotta find him, before something upsets him even more, and all Beauclair is awash with blood.
Well, we share a cause then, just like the old days.
Not entirely. I mean, when I find him, you know.
I know you've a contract on his head. Yet your true task is to stop the beast killing, not necessarily to kill the beast, am I right?
All in all, sure.
Let us find him. By the time we do, I hope I'll have convinced you Detlef is no monster.
Fine, all right already. But for now, evidence is stacking up against him.
Hear that?
The posse. Knights must have tracked me here.
I prefer they not find me here. I've makeshift quarters at Mère Lachaise Long Cemetery. We'll meet there.
See you.
Witcher, we flew here as fast as our courses would carry us. Yet I fear we're late all the same. Pray, where is the beast?
Still investigating. About to inspect this site. Withdraw your men before they trample all over the evidence.
Sirs, we must let the Witcher do his work. Milton's murder cannot go unavenged.
Sir! A letter for you, sir!
Letter? Who from?
Can't rightly say, sir. I was just to deliver it.
Here. And thanks.
No, sir. Thank you. And I truly hope I'll be of service again.
Dearest.
I suspect weighty affairs, rather than merely the wine festival, have drawn you to Toussaint. Perhaps you'll find time to probe a certain matter in spite of this. I recently came across the mention of one Professor Moreau, a scholar in Beauclair, who conducted research into Witcher mutations. Though the details are rather murky, as is the location of the scholar's laboratory, his journal could contain more information. It lies buried with him in his tomb. I enclose a map I found in the book I happened upon. Though less than completely legible, I trust it will prove useful nonetheless. I felt this matter could prove of some importance to you, thus I dispatched this letter without delay. Whatever you decide, please take exceedingly good care of yourself. Your Yen.
A professor who studied Witcher mutations. Might actually be worth looking into.
She looked at me all right. Looked right at me.
Inscriptions in Elder speech. Salvation lies not in Dolnevde, but in our hearts. Glory be to Eldarin. Damn, Professor's journal's long gone. Guess somebody else found out about it too. Should look around, see if I can find something else. Footprints, narrow and shallow. Somebody's small, light. Woman, maybe? Wonder where they lead. Damn it, trail breaks off. Wonder if the grave robber learned more than I did. Professor certainly can't do much to help me with my search. Won't learn anything anything else here. Map Yen sent me will have to do. Also, Epitaph mentioned both Ellerin and Dolnevde, Valley of the Nine. Site marked on the map's all wet now. Some tour flows through there. Must be where the Valley of the Nine once lay. Need to explore the location. Something in Moreau's tomb to activate the entry portal. Wonder what surprises this place has in store. Implanted spikes. Sick sense of humor someone's got. Not bad. Wouldn't mind having something like that myself. Course. Locked. Need to find something to open it.
did it.
Interesting as places go. Seems someone put a lot of thought into its design. Should look around. Impressive. This just decoration, or...
Unwanted guest. Intruder. You are not welcome here.
Yeah, figured as much. Hang your head from my saddle. This just keeps getting better. Statues seem oddly oriented, as if to all face in one direction. The right. Alright, now to find the next portal. Statues seem oddly oriented, as if to all face in one direction. The right portal, maybe? Alright, now to find the next portal. Now to find the next portal. Must be where Moreau had his lab. Intriguing as machinery goes, but how do I start it up? Guessing this man didn't come here willingly. Preserved organs. Hope their donors weren't forced to give them up. Preserved organs. Hope their donors weren't forced to give them up. Quite the library. Mostly tomes on mutations and genetics. Empty. Wonder who was kept in here. Just need to pick an entry.
The 18th of Yule, year 1102. Today I begin my great life's endeavor, one greater and more significant than any I have thus far undertaken, for it relates to me personally, to myself and my son. When 15 years passed, a beast of the forest assaulted me. A witcher came to my aid, saved my life. I could not know that for said salvation, I would in the end pay by relinquishing any say as to my own son's fate. Had I the skill to turn back time, I would have done so. and perished rather than surrender to the Witchers, my only son. But as it was, on the day when Jerome was taken, I swore an oath on my honor that I would recover my son. Today, following years of research and preparation, I have at last devised a device that allows me to study mutations. If the gods in their goodness grant me but a bit of favor, I shall find a way to reverse said mutations and restore Jerome to a normal life.
So, Professor wasn't out to enhance Witcher mutations, wanted to reverse them. Wonder if he managed, and if there's anything in it for me.
Observation 22. Despite applying a surfeit of toxic substances, significantly more than usual, the subject displayed no symptoms of overdosing. I believe this to be an effect of the mutations. Thus, a minor success. This mutation should allow Jerome better to tolerate toxicity. Observation number 30. The mutations do not set in at once. Curiously, they do not develop over a span of time. Rather, for a mutation to progress towards completion, the appropriate mutagen must be applied continuously. The subject does not bear this well, but I found a way to make the mutations less taxing, invasive. To the mutagen base, I add the albumin of a mutated giant centipede egg. Stored in a glass terrarium, the eggs do not develop, remain small. The eggs themselves are a sight to behold. Mutated, they are luminescent, emitting a wondrous glow. I can only hope my addition of the albumin will produce no significant side effects. Time will tell. Observation 58. Sometimes failure is the catalyst for success. I've discovered a method by which one type of mutagen may be transmuted into another through the addition of certain ingredients. This is a great day for science. In addition, I observed that today's dose of mutagens brought the subject to the brink of death. He then suddenly awoke, revived, his strength renewed. Not wholly, of course, but he did in a sense come back from the edge of death. Whether this is attributable to his mutations or to pure coincidence cannot be ascertained. I must conduct further experiments. Years of experiments, research, sacrifice, all for naught. I have failed to achieve my defined objective. Each mutation I applied to my subjects proved ineffective when applied to Jerome. What I meant to cure him of his witcherism, that which I meant to restore to him a normal life, only deepened his mutations, further augmented his speed and strength, rendered him yet more inhuman. It seems my son must remain a witcher forever. I have failed. The time has come to abandon this place. Return home to Lydia. She may yet deign to take me back. The contraption and mutagens I leave here, let them wither and crumble, as did my dreams of regaining my son.
So the professor wanted to reverse the mutation's effects. Ended up deepening them. Stroke of luck for me. could profit from his failure. So, Professor tried to neutralize the effects of Witcher mutations, only managed to enhance them, though. Used the albumins of giant centipede eggs as his mutagen base. Need to go on an egg hunt. Mom's awake and she's not in a good mood. Show me what you got. Professor's mutagens might work on study they did on his son. Well, time to find out. poor cell for portals. Feels dead. Maybe a sign will revive it.
Welcome home, sir. I am Barnabas Basil Fawlty. By order of the Duchess, I shall serve you as Major Domo of Corfu Bianco. I previously served with distinction at the Nibli family manor and in Nazaire with Admiral Rompali, who, as you are certain to know, is an extraordinary demanding gentleman.
Whoa, Barnabas Basil. One thing you ought to know. I'm not your typical landed gentleman. Truth be told, this is the first real property I've ever owned.
Oh, in that case, you must leave it all to me. I shall organize, see to everything, and whip the house into order. I dare say this place will soon be the most prosperous vineyard around.
Great. Can already see I'm in good hands. Vineyard comes across as a place with a rich history. Know who owned it before me?
Baron Rossel, who went bankrupt, forcing him to sell the estate to the Duchess. The Baron, in turn, had purchased it from Monsieur Bolius of the Headsman, a truly colorful man of Kedweni origin.
He was actually a headsman?
No, not him, but his great-great-great-great-grandfather. Indeed. Apparently, he was a common cut-purse who somehow secured for himself the post of ducal headsman in Beauclair. Went about his work with an exceptional penchant. They say he chopped off more heads than there are grapevines in the ducal vineyards. He never hesitated, not once. Never sliced unevenly, never botched a job. For his exemplary service, the Duke granted him a title and this estate. Monsieur Bolius, on the other hand, was an engineer in his younger years. Once retired, he settled here and took to producing wine. Sadly, misfortune struck and he lost his sense first of smell, then of taste. Additionally, he could not drink alcohol. His medic forbade it.
Shame that. He gave up making wine?
Not at all. He made even more of it. Began throwing wild balls to which he'd invite friends from far and wide in order to treat them to his wine and delight in the fact that at least someone could enjoy it. It's the sort of man he was, Monsieur Bolius.
Mind giving me a little tour de Corvo Bianco?
Not in the least. Follow me, please. I think it would be practical to begin on the hill. Behold, sir, your estate in all its splendor.
Pretty vast.
Indeed. And now, sir, allow me to show you a handful of interesting details. Follow me, please.
Been a major domo all your life?
Yes, I come from a long line of major domos. My father was a major domo, as was my grandfather before him, as was my great-aunt. In fact, she was the one to start the tradition.
Great-aunt?
A hard woman. It is said that already as a child, she knew where she was going and went there. When she arrived in Beauclair, she signed on as a chambermaid at one of the vineyards, then slowly worked her way up to major domo. She dragged the rest of the family up the same path.
Foul magic worked by the daughter's suitor, all on account of him being refused her hand.
The servants' quarters. I occupy the green home. With the Duchess's permission, I have hired a full staff. Their salaries to be paid from the ducal treasure.
Nice of her.
Not the most sightly part of the estate, I admit. But I think it's worthwhile for you as master of the domain to know where the help stays.
The White Wolf himself.
Baron Rossel ordered the vines in this part of the estate uprooted and olive groves planted in their place. They look beautiful, especially come spring.
Don't look at all bad now, either.
Look like smuggling wine. It's enough to drive you batty.
Down below lies your vineyard, where we grow a strain of Carfanere, one of the world's oldest. Aged in oak barrels, it provides for an exquisite wine with distinct blackberry, wild cherry, plum, and cinnamon notes. Marvelous.
Have to try it one of these days.
The days pass. The pile of work remains the same.
My stomach growls like an angry wolf.
Nice well. Picturesque.
Yes, though it ran dry long ago. During the raucous feasts Master Bolius held, he would order it filled with wine. There's a tale about a guest attending a Bolius ball for the first time and thus unaware of the custom. He had suffered great heartbreak and had decided to end his life by jumping into the well. The festivities were coming to a close, and the well was nearly empty when the suicidal guest finally jumped. Instead of killing himself, he merely broke his legs. To numb the pain, he drank the wine.
Drank himself to death?
Not at all. When found the next day, he had concluded he'd witnessed twin miracles. The water had been changed into wine, and he had survived. He retired to a monastery in the Dragon Mountains and began preaching the wisdoms of Lebioda. Monsieur Bolius' wife Nina kept a garden here. A supremely lovely place it was.
Bit neglected now.
I agree. Yet nothing stands in the way of restoring it to its former glory, and once again planting it with herbs and other vegetation. Madame Nina planted diminutive, delicate flowers and herbs here. One might say their aroma still hangs in the air.
You're quite the romantic, Barnabas Basil.
If they would just take to work as they take to dance and drink.
The Dutch is small, but do you know any who's not heard of our wines?
This served as an additional wine cellar in years of plentiful harvests.
Bit of work and it'll make a fine stable for Roach.
The cellars, voila. During Monsieur Bolis's time, wine was kept here, but Baron Rossel used it to store olive oil as well. I took the liberty of cleaning up the mess, which
I made while fighting the Bruxa. Thanks, Barnabas Basil. Appreciate it.
Diddly snaps! My back aches something horrid!
As you can see, the facade is, how to put it, slightly stained. But one cannot deny it a certain subtle southern charm.
True, though it could use a bit of subtle paint.
And welcome inside. On the left is the master bedroom. On the right, the dining hall and kitchen. Upstairs, we shall find the guest room, currently used for storage.
Not a bad idea.
At the moment, the house is only minimally furnished. Yet I believe we will, together, devise some innovative arrangements. A few paintings, for instance, would breathe new life into the abode immediately. With that, sir, you've seen the full lay of the land. Corfo Bianco is a beautiful estate. Though one must admit, time has taken its toll. Forgive me for being forward, but if you were to choose to invest a small sum towards its beautification, consider me at your service on the matter.
Think I'll take you up on that. Be sure to come and see you if I decide to do any remodeling. Mentioned the place could stand to be spruced up.
Oh, most decidedly, sir. The question is where you would like to begin this rejuvenation.
Been thinking about the outer walls. Maybe a fresh coat of paint or some patching.
If I might dare to make a suggestion, why not start with a general renovation? I once oversaw such work at Admiral Rompelli's summer residence. The effects were simply breathtaking. Not only did the residence positively sparkle afterwards, but we also made room to display the Admiral's armor and weapons, of which he was a passionate collector.
Need to think it over some.
I understand, of course. As the venerable Lady Eve Knibley would so quaintly put it, the rash oft contract rashes.
That's all for now, BB. Thanks.
Witcher, I've a matter of prime urgency and import.
Monsters?
Your wound. Feeling better?
It's healing splendidly, though I am to avoid trouble for some time. To be frank, that is precisely why I wish to speak with you.
Want me to stand in for you? Take on some trouble on your behalf?
That could very well be the case. You see, there is a maiden, nay, a lady. I suspect someone's cast an ill spell upon her. A curse, perhaps.
What makes you think she might be cursed?
You must keep all I say to yourself, I beg you. I would never dare to be so indiscreet normally, yet I'm troubled about her, for her. Vivian shuns the company of others. Though the fairest maid at court, she keeps men at a distance. I thus determined I would resort to trickery.
Trickery? That even befitting of a knight?
In war, yes. And what is love if not battle? As it were, one evening I crouched in hiding outside her seamstress's home. As Vivian emerged from it, I too emerged, ever so gently but convincingly collided with her, then promptly offered to escort her home. She consented. At first, all augured well. I proposed a more scenic route. She agreed. I made kindly forays into conversation, and she even began to respond as we neared the end of our route.
Then suddenly,
mid-speech, from her mouth there flew a most hideous shriek. I stopped stone cold in my tracks while she turned red, then promptly ran off. I did not give chase that time. I attempted to approach her on several ensuing occasions, to learn what had happened, for I feared she had become entangled in some trouble. I noted that often, come night, she ventures into the woods, where I've seen her walk about a glade near a pool. I've striven on occasion to follow her, but lost track each time. It seemed then she'd melted into the air.
sound you heard. She might have just had a sore throat.
Had I thought it possible the sound was natural, I never would have taken up your precious time.
Tell me more about Vivian. Who is she? What's her story?
She's Her Enlightened Highness's lady-in-waiting. Her mother was a lady-in-waiting, her father a knight. That is all I've learnt, for the Duchessa grows angry when asked about her. Vivian spends her days within the palace walls. Yet we are in luck, for she has been named the tourney's patroness this year. Thus, each participant will be granted an audience with her.
Got a problem then. See, I'm not a participant.
I've devised a solution already. You shall take my place in the lists and thus gain the chance to speak to her. I was looking forward to winning the tourney, very much so. Yet for Vivian, I am prepared to sacrifice anything.
Fine, I'll look into it. Gotta admit, piqued my curiosity.
I shall be forever in your debt. Now, we must ensure you are not eliminated from the tourney before you can meet Vivian.
Meaning?
Could you show me how you shoot, ride and fight, perchance? And you must learn the tourney rules, know how to apply them in practice. I did not mean to suggest I doubt your abilities. Everyone must train, even a witcher. Besides, the tourney contests must surely differ, require skills you don't usually apply, races above all. The choice is yours. Where shall we start?
Marksmanship. Feel I need to do some shooting.
Come with me. The marksmanship contest shall pit you against another for the best time and score. He who hits all his targets first wins.
Hope my aim's as good as that Cupid's who shot you.
Sometimes when you speak, I miss the meaning entirely. Hit the red targets!
Show me what you got.
Once more?
Done enough shooting.
Where to now? If you wish to know my thoughts, were I you, I would train on the race course ahead of all else.
Let's do some riding. Roach will like that.
Excellent idea. Come with me. The tourney's race differs from others you might have taken part in. You shall not ride against any opponent.
How's it a race at all, then?
It's a race against time. The true track begins in the arena, runs round the tourney grounds, then finishes again in the arena. The training track, however, lies beyond the arena. We shall go there now.
But I did. All night I spent watching the church.
All is ready. Now listen, for it can be quite a challenge. Along your route stand dummies and targets. The dummies you may cut with your blade. The targets you must hit from your crossbow. The time you have to complete the course shall increase each time you land a strike, be it with blade or bolt. It may sound simple enough, yet I've seen many a knight fail this contest and hang his head in shame. During the race proper, judges throughout the course shall tally your points. For now you may ride unperturbed by those matters.
Go, go.
So, have you had enough, or do you wish to ride again?
Had enough. Rather not wear my horse down before the real race.
Where to now?
Be nice to swing, do some footwork, work up a sweat.
Very well. We shall practice infantry combat, one-on-one. Each knight opts for his own method. Rainfarn, for instance, fights halberd in hand.
Come with me. You will team with other knights to fight. The clash simulates a true skirmish during battle. Come the end, you shall fight a duel. It will determine your place on the podium. I always liked the duels the best, but now I can think only of my Vivian. In the end, it is good you will replace me. I sense I would simply be distracted this time.
As punishment for our sins!
Here in Beauclair, all right and fair.
Sir de Peyrac Perante.
What a specimen. Scared and frightened.
Simpleton!
Stand at the center of the training ground. A knight will approach and challenge you.
I can fight.
I'll
Always
show you,
with reason.
you rapscallion. Quickly! From the right! Now!
You'll never learn.
Do you wish to practice fighting a moment longer?
Think I've seen enough. Sorry to be blunt, but the simplest Witcher contract demands more skill than this kind of combat.
Now you must go to the inscription tent. Honor and glory are all true and good, but your scrolls must be in order.
Greetings. Want to join the lists?
Naturally. We must first see to formalities, however. At Guillaume's request, I have looked into your personal history in its heraldic aspects.
Really? What did you come up with?
My findings show you may take part as Geralt of Rivia.
What a surprise.
Or as the Honorable Ravix of Forhorn. It's not every year we have a combatant who can boast of 2 crests. Which do you prefer?
I'm Geralt, not about to fight under a false name.
You may now take the shield bearing your crest.
I'm a Witcher. Shields aren't something Witchers ever use in combat.
Who mentioned using it in combat? Not I. The shield commemorates your participation in the tourney. You may take it as a souvenir.
In that case, thanks.
Have you been instructed as to the tourney's challenges, prizes, and vows? If not, I do hope you will allow me to tell you about them.
Feels like I know everything I'd ever want to know about chivalric tourneys.
Splendid. In that case, you must make your vow. Upon what would you like to swear it?
I solemnly vow on the Heron that in competing, I'll respect the chivalric virtues.
May the gods succor you in your endeavors to overcome. Sign here, please, then fill out these forms. That is all I need from you. Now, as arranged by Guillaume, you shall be fitted with appropriate armor for the tourney.
Shiny.
You have also been assigned a tent for the tourney's duration. It stands near the arena. Good luck.
Geralt, well, I'll be... Have you decided to turn knight-errant?
All jesting aside, here on a job. You in the tourney too?
Am I? Ha! I shall square off against Renfan of Atre. I saw him just moments ago. A nervous wreck. Stuffing his nose with fish steak, no less. As if that would aid his determination.
Guessing that's against the rules.
But who's to tell the Nilfgaardian what to do? Listen, Geralt. I've a tip for you. The timing of your marksmanship duel is such that you shall have the sun in your eyes.
Makes no difference to me either way.
Nor will it give you any pleasure. Since, as it is, we must both wait, play me in a round of Gwent. Should you win, I shall swap with you. To me, a southerner, the sun is no hindrance.
Thanks. Another time, maybe.
Ha! You've denied me some diversion, but at the least my eyes are in for a treat. Lady Vivian should appear shortly.
Fair knights, I salute you! The honor and duty of tourney patron have fallen to me this year. Fight honorably, so that I may bestow upon one of your number the tourney's grand prize. You have sworn your vows. You have readied body and soul. The time has come to test them.
Behold Horm Akespark of the Mechtian royal line. His name's quite the mouthful, a true challenge to rhyme. His targets to be hit centrally and true are the ones in blue. Against him, new blood, a knight unknown till now. Sir Geralt of Rivia, give us a bow. The targets he must with his quarrels thread are red. May the better man win.
What now, you piece of filth?
Like a lover ghostly grasping but one fair teat, Geralt's half strewn twixt joyous victory and bitter defeat. Geralt jumps ahead, leaves the others behind. Do I see this falsely? Am I out of... Sir Geralt of Rivia has trounced his foe, pounded him soundly, immersed him in woe.
Your prize, sir. A crossbow adorned with your crest. I congratulate you.
Thank you, my lady. My medallion's vibrating strongly. Can only mean one thing. Magic.
The explanation is disappointing, I'm afraid. The fragrance I use, it's mixed by a sorceress.
To lose to an opponent such as you is a victory of its own. Accept my congratulations as well.
Thanks.
Good work! In the interim, I managed to determine which tent Lady Vivian occupies. Perhaps you could find a clue within it.
You're right. Vivian's cursed in some way. Sensed it when she opened the tourney.
In that case, we've no time to lose. Let us go.
Yeah, let's go now.
This is her tent. You must look inside. Search it. I shall hoot like an owl should someone approach.
Claw marks, that's clear. Not sure what beast left them, just that it's big.
Oh,
Jar of concealing ointment.
Thou hast dove's
Powerful magic
eyes
at work
within thy
here.
locks. Thy lips are like a thread of scarlet. Thy two breasts are like...
Clothing's all dark green and yellow. Seems Yen's not the only one with a fixed color scheme. Oriole feather. Vivian keep a bird as a pet? No sign of it here, if so. Bruxate has been fond of birds. Used to make compresses.
Someone approaches. Quickly!
You were supposed to hoot.
We shall speak later. We must return to the tourney now. It's time for the second contest.
Sirs, what seek you in my lady's tent? Inspiration? Be gone from here. Why were you in there?
Tourney business. Nothing of import.
Behold, gallant knights and ladies decorous, gaze at the host assembled before us. Look upon chivalry's best and most storied. Come from far lands, here to seek glory. Hear now their names as I shout them aloud. Savor their titles, of their presence be proud. Halmarin, the Baron of Lonfall. Linus of Metina, Rainfarn of Atra, Macaspark of Meicht, Donimir of Troy, Guy de Boisfren, in service to the Duchess, Delwyn of Craigiau, Count Tai of Dondal, Ansay of Lyria and Rivia a prince, Geralt of Rivia, for Gregoire of Montgorgon let out a roaring cheer, the faint vow of silence, tourney champion from last year. Today's winner of contests, his victory to secure, shall face Sir Gregoire in a challenge severe. Does ignorance demand a bard intercede? Does someone need telling how tourneys proceed?
How dare you enter a tourney for nobly born knights? Your knighthood came through the grace of my mother Meve, Queen of Lyria and Rivia, whom you treacherously deserted mere days later. Your presence here is an offense to my honor.
And yours is an offense to my eyes. If you're done, step aside, Prince.
The tourney's protector, the mate Vivian. Her beauty entrances both beasts and men.
My heart's greetings, dear knights. May my grace guide you and show you the path of honor, valor, and glory. Accept my wishes of good fortune, sir, and devote all your strength to the tourney, and only it.
The time has come for you, Sir Knight. Mount your steed. Swift be your flight.
Ladies and gentlemen of lineage illustrious, soon steeds shall swarm like ants most industrious. To beat time's passage they'll ride like the gale. What a sight to behold, what a lark, what a tale! Before us Geralt from Rivia come, fast as the wind, bright as the sun. And he's up! With a thunderous roar, who pounds the ground, No legion of drummers could make such a sound!
Can I shoot your crossbow?
Keep your eyes peeled for the Hanses, Witcher. Witcher, good luck on the path.
Let's go!
Why don't you all just get the fuck up?
More than they do.
So close! Will he last? Endure and keep pace? What tension! What...
Whoa there, Roach.
A race of such style, such grace, such speed! To watch was a pleasure, a treat indeed! To honor our entrance, praise each fair knight, we shall feast from eve till dawn's first light. The finest of wine and food shall be served. If you've blood in your veins, come collect what's deserved.
I congratulate you. Here, your prize. A saddle adorned with your crest.
Many thanks.
By the way, my maid saw a man with white hair sneak out of my tent. Would you know who it might have been?
No idea.
How juvenile.
Congratulations on your win! In stellar style, no less. Ah, I no longer regret I was not able to participate. Almost.
We must drink to this. Come with me to the feast. We shall await Vivian together.
Lead the way.
So, any thoughts on Vivian?
Her beauty's striking.
That is not what I ask.
Still too early to say anything I'd be willing to stand behind. Managed to figure one thing out. She uses powerful magic, masking illusions.
Do you mean to say she might in truth look different than she seems?
Only guessing right now. Found some clues. Got me wondering if your beloved Vivian's not a Bruxa.
A Bruxa? You mean a vampiress?
Not sure yet.
We've still some time before Vivian arrives. Let us drink.
Sorry, don't drink while I work.
Your presence at this tourney is an affront to my honor. I demand satisfaction.
Head to the nearest brothel, then.
Coward. Mounted combat in the main arena. I challenge you.
Since you insist, I'm all yours.
You shall bitterly regret deserting my mother's army once I'm done with you. May the blood I will spill wash away the stain of your cowardice!
Let's get this over with. Quick.
3, 2, 1!
Slow now. Whoa.
The gods have seen fit to punish you for your cowardice.
Yada yada, you won, whatever. Now let me explain something. Had to abandon your mother's camp back then because someone else needed my help. Badly. Couldn't refuse them. Didn't want to, in fact.
You mean to say you had a secret mission, set off to accomplish it, having vowed to tell no one of its nature, until you did?
Something like that, minus the vow. And, I'd still rather not divulge the nature of my secret mission. Can you accept that as justification?
In agreeing to duel, you proved yourself a true knight. Thus, I accept your word as that of a man of honor.
Glad to hear it. Now I got work to do.
My heart swells to behold this beautiful celebration of valor and honor, and to witness you, who embody the chivalric virtues in your lives, strive for greatness. Yet, after a time of combat must come a time of peace and respite. Thus, I invite all who fought in the tourney to this feast held in your, and none other's, honor. And should any among you crave solitude, private tents await you nearby. The group melee shall take place on the morrow. Glory shall be within grasp for each and every one of you. The best among you shall have the honor to face our reigning champion, the famed Gregoire de Gourgon, victor of last year's tourney. Celebrate, make merry, revel as you will, yet be mindful of the trial that awaits you tomorrow.
Follow her. We shall meet in your tent before your last contest. You must help her.
That grey dome
All is in order.
ever-seeking Lady Vivian. Some kind of maniac.
Strange. Was sure I'd find her here. Vanished. Melted into thin air. And that bird. She a Bruxa? Flew off. Worth going after. Looks like the bird's leading me somewhere. Over the hill. Might be quicker to pass through the cave.
Witcher.
Lady Vivian? Counted on me getting lost.
I did. I thought you no different from the knights. Good at tourneys, hopeless in the face of true danger. I was mistaken.
So you're not actually a Bruxa?
A what?
Suspicion I had, that you might be a vampire. Certain details seemed to confirm it. Then I changed my mind. Anyway, unimportant. Here you come to this clearing often.
This is where it all began. And as I was not able to evade you, save myself from you, then I want it done here. In this very spot, with no witnesses.
Want what done?
Why, you are a witcher. You were hired to kill me, were you not? Then do so, now. And do it quickly, I beg you. I shan't resist.
Witchers only hunt monsters. And even then, not all. You're no monster.
Then what am I to your eyes?
Most likely you've been cursed. Don't know who by or why yet, but hope to find that out soon.
If you've no contract on my life, why take an interest at all? Did Guillaume put you up to it? Is that why?
He wanted to help you. Asked me to do him a favor. Frankly, if I can do something for you, I'll do it, willingly.
Why should I trust you?
'Cause the Duchess trusts me? 'Cause I'm a freak, too? 'Cause cases like yours are my bread and butter. Take your pick.
You shall not turn on me. Use what I say against me. You shall not tell anyone.
You got nothing to fear. Came here to help you, and I won't peep a word to anyone unless I decide it's absolutely necessary.
So be it. I shall tell you what my mama once told me. When she was with child, expecting me, she and my father spent much time together near the wood, here in this clearing. Mama loved to listen to the orioles sing. She would stroke her belly and say, "My daughter should be as beautiful as that bird. Such is my wish." But a creature dwelt in the wood who envied my parents their happiness. One day it appeared before them to say the whole wood belonged to it, and they had dared to delight in something that was not theirs. It demanded payment, and when my parents said that they had nothing, it claimed their unborn daughter as its own.
What happened after that?
Nothing at first. I came into the world a perfectly normal child, and my parents forgot that day's events. But 15 summers into my life, the curse began to show. Initially only when the moon was full. But now it's advanced so that even in daytime I must use magic ointment to mask its symptoms, to look normal. Thus I thought someone had discovered my secret, then hired you to kill me. In fact, I was resigned to death in coming here. Perhaps death would be preferable to my complete and permanent transformation. For I fear that is what lies in store.
The curse. It could be reversible. Once ran into a baron transformed into a cormorant, ostensibly for good. Managed to cure him completely.
And you truly think you could do something like this for me?
Can't guarantee a thing. Tough case, yours. You were cursed before birth. That alone complicates things. Also, you claim the curse is increasing its hold. Symptoms are progressing. Could try transferring the curse onto someone else.
What? Out of the question. I shall not allow it to ruin an innocent life. Is this the only method you know?
Only one that's completely safe.
So there is another.
All right, there is another. Ancient ritual. We'd need an Oriole egg. Should release the curse's grip permanently. Gotta warn you, though. Could have serious consequences.
Consequences? What kind?
Curse was cast before you came into this world. Ritual involved transferring it to an as-yet unhatched chick. You'd be free. Thing is, you could be left with the average lifespan of an Oriole.
7 years. I understand. Alas, every rose has its thorn, and there are no happy endings. Yet truth be told, I never thought I would get one. I came here prepared to die, yet you wish to give me 7 years of life. Real life, free life. This is no dilemma. I agree, wholeheartedly.
I see why. I understand. Don't have to decide just yet. Think it through.
I will. They must miss me at the Tawny grounds by now. Shall we return?
Let's. But are you gonna...
Yes. I cannot appear there all in feathers. Pardon me for a moment.
You can change at will?
No, but I discovered the water of this pool helps. Its effects are brief, but I can always be sure of them.
Interesting.
Come.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Then speak, man. Can you not see I'm out of my mind with worry? What ails her?
She asked me not to talk about it.
But I want only the best for her. Perhaps I shall be able to help, or, I don't know, console her at the least.
Vivian gave me the details of her situation, but she did so in confidence. Promised I wouldn't tell anyone.
But I'm not just anyone. Why, I would do anything for her. I was the one to ask you to help her. You cannot shut me out now.
I'm sorry. Look, in time Vivian will come to understand what she owes you. I'm sure of it. But until then, you gotta understand the whole world doesn't revolve around you.
How dare you lecture me? This is not the aid I sought. And to think I gave up my spot in the tourney to you. I regret it now. Do you even intend to compete to the end? Or now that you've bound Vivian to your terms, you no longer see the need?
I don't back out of anything. I'll take part in the last skirmish. Besides, Vivian will be busy till the tourney's end.
Indeed. In that case, you must meet the other knights of your team. They await near the arena's entrance, by the training ground.
Got it. Thanks.
I know now the two teams' rosters. I shall be captain of ours. That means you shall do as I say for the duration of the fight. Is this clear? Palmer and Alonful will lead the opposing team. With this skirmish, we commemorate the Battle of Fox Hollow of 1218, when a Hans of Southern outlaws led by Halar the Brown attacked Toussaint only to be driven off by brave knights, thus setting a precedent. Since that day, knights errant have guarded the duchy's borders. Palmerin drew the short straw, so his team shall play the barbarian Halar's men. Any questions?
None.
I doubt you'll do us any good. You know nothing of knightly combat as a witcher. Try at least to stay out of our way.
It is time, gentlemen. Take your weapons and proceed to the arena.
A cheer for the knights, the ladies, the lords. For our next entertainment, the team shall cross swords. 2 rifle crews, 2 coteries shall fight full tilt till one's dropped to its knees. Who virtue ignores or lance blows unclean shall forever be branded as shameful, obscene. While the knights prepare, let me say I'm elated to behold such a crowd on edge, breath-baited. Whoever here wins the past champion shall face. All others must leave, heads bowed in disgrace. In Clout Resurrectus, blood, sweat, and tears shall soon follow in buckets. Retreat from the right! Now! For Toussaint! For the Duchess! Oh my, that must have been painful. Like a thorn to the heart, only more painful. The world's never seen a fight quite so glorious. For showing such verve, each knight was victorious. Yet in tourneys as in life, but one champion may reign. Today, he is the one. Praised be his name. He felt a whole host, slew the most. To Geralt of Rivia, who the strength of lions boasts. He sailed through all trials, each test he passed with ease. But now awaits the last. Will it bring him to his knees? For Grégoire de Gorgon, who on this ground's last won, shall spar him for the title, and the day is done. To the tired remainder, we salute your endeavors. Return to your wives, your loves, your whomevers. It is time. Step into the arena. Should you suffer grievous harm during combat, have you any last wishes? Any missives you wish passed to your loved ones?
Thanks, I'm fine.
The Witcher of Rivia, Geralt his name. Though aged be his visage, do not disdain. His locks true are white, but he was born to fight. Now entering the grounds, a titan of infamy, Grégoire de Gorgon, victor of last his tourney.
I wish both combatants good fortune and fame.
Pacing the grounds, the titans locked stairs, ferocious and spry as wolves hunting hares. Mesdames et messieurs, our victor, our champion, the unequaled and silent Grégoire de Gorgon! Hip, hip, hooray! 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 The crowd cries in shock. Now a few words from his sponsor. Geralt of Rivia! This year's champion! A sight to behold! He defeated Grégoire de Gorgon! Hail, Geralt! Herald! Herald! Herald!
As patron of this grand tourney, I've the honor to decorate our grand champion. His vow he made upon the harem, doubtless the gravity of his knightly pledge upon the noble vow, carried him to this splendid victory. He showed great courage, great strength, great composure. He fought nobly with honor, and thus rightfully deserves the title of this year's Champion of the Arena!
I need to talk to you.
Not now. We shall meet later in my tent. I have duties to attend to, as do you. Folk regard you. The least you should do is wave.
Greetings, my lady. Have you decided?
I have. I stand by all I have said. I wish to endanger no one and thus choose the method involving an egg. If it's to be the egg of an oriole, I know where to find one. There is a nest in my clearing. Might you explain the nature of the ritual? Its exact course?
Sure, but seems your tense grown ears. Show yourself, Guillaume. Can hear you breathing, and I know damn well it's you.
Why are you here, sir? This is a private audience. Geralt, what is the meaning of this? Is this some scheme you've hatched unbeknownst to me?
Guillaume's no foe. Though there's little honor in meddling, he meant well, means well. You guessed correctly. He was the one to hire me, but only because he wanted to help you.
My lady, I live to serve you. Whatsoever you require, you need but beckon. I am yours to command.
Are you quite finished? Is that all you wish to say?
I suppose so.
So you shall do what I command, sir. Very well, then. Listen carefully. Leave this tent, turn towards the duchy's northern marches, and run. Run until the tawny grounds are no longer within sight. Return only once you've cooled off. Then leave me be forevermore. Understood?
My lady, but your troubles. I only wish the Witcher see.
Out now! You assured me I could trust you.
I kept your secret. Didn't tell him anything he didn't already know.
I understand he hired you, so you had to report to him. But this is not his affair, Geralt. This is my life.
Absolutely sure you did the right thing? Not too hasty rejecting his help? Can't conduct the ritual using your reflection without him. Needed someone who'd willingly assume the curse in your stead.
And you thought I would agree to this? No, Geralt. When we spoke in the meadow, you told me of a ritual which required no lusty knights to aid us. This is the method I wish to pursue.
Need to find an egg, preferably an Oriole's. Ritual itself isn't complicated, but like I said before, there'll be a side effect. Still sure you want to go through with it?
Yes. I saw a nest in the clearing where we spoke. But before we go, tell me, what will become of the chick?
We'll have to break the egg. Like you said, not everyone gets a happy ending.
And for a dream to come true, there must be sacrifices. Very well. Let us go. This is the place.
Oh no! A panther's ghost at the nest!
Stand back. I'll take care of this. I'm gonna hang your head from my side. Eggs fell on a moss patch. They're fine except for one. It's cracked.
Will it do?
Think so.
Now what must I do?
You need to concentrate now. Repeat after me. Muna Gandrau. Muna Finerat.
Muna Gandrau. Muna Finerat. Muna Gandrau. Muna Finerat. Muna Gandrau. who had a thing left.
Damn it.
Geralt, look! Look! Oh, gods! I shall be able to attend balls. I shall travel to Oxenfurt, to Novigrad even. Thank you, Witcher.
Ought to thank Guillaume. He's the one hired me to help you.
Yes, I'm grateful to him as well, immensely. Will you tell him so for me?
Should tell him yourself, don't you think?
Perhaps I should, but I would prefer not to. Convey my gratitude to him in my stead. Please, be so kind.
Sure, I'll tell him. Farewell, Vivian.
Geralt, what of Vivian?
Managed to lift her curse.
Truly? So all will be well. Her troubles are done?
Vivian chose what suited her best. She's completely free now. And happy, I think.
Without me.
You helped her. But that doesn't mean she owes you her love. Got this bard friend, philosopher too, I guess, amateur. He'd say, if you love somebody, set them free.
Do you know what, Geralt? You earned your reward, so take it. But keep your advice to yourself. Adieu.
Can't hear anything, but might want to look around anyway. Empty wine bottles. Leftovers. Big to do? Not likely. Lots of tracks. Not much I can glean from them, though. Gotta come back after dark. Damn it. More fighting. Noises coming from the catacombs, it seems. Not a soul. Strange. Doesn't look anything like a grave hag's lair either. Gold. Can't be grave robbers. None worth their salt would have left this. Here lies Margot de Corentin. Smashed, as if someone threw it against the wall. Louis de Corentin died on the day of Saint Zoetham's remembrance. Pretty fresh. Funeral wasn't too long ago. No sign of monsters or grave robbers. Bit of a mess, that's all. Maybe this isn't the spot after all. Something's not right. Need to hide, see how things play out.
You'd rather lie about all day, flipping those cards like some dwarf. Disgusting.
Indeed. Better to stand at the door of Lepioda's temple, mumbling prayers from dawn till dusk.
Ingrid, I prayed for you, that you would cast off the yoke of gambling.
Fine job you did of it. Seems the gods had also heard enough of your cackling. And you? Why are you here? This is a private conversation.
Mind keeping it down? Neighbors are complaining.
Neighbors? Everyone here is dead.
I know not your name, but you must help me. I refuse to spend eternity at the side of this heathen. Remove him from my crypt at once!
Slow down. What's the problem?
This is my crypt, and this saintly shrew harangues me even in death. An eternity of nagging, the misery!
I was blind and a fool to marry him. He's a slave to the cards, prepared to wager his own child on a round of Gwent.
Once, damn it, and as a jest! How many times must I explain? And who sank our fortune into some silly statue of Lebioda?
Piety. That was my cause. The prophet immortalized would have transformed this land of blasphemy and betting. How was I to know it was all a fraud?
Because I warned you some 500 times!
Quiet! Shut up, both of you! Who does the crypt belong to, rightfully?
Must you ask? It's mine. My family's. The de Corentins. Are you illiterate?
True. But my dowry served to repurchase it from those you owed.
Look, if there's to be peace and quiet here, one of you's gotta go. Need to move one of you out.
Yes. Take him. Please. Do so. And I shall tell you where I hid his lucky Gwent cards.
What? I knew it was you! And now you would evict me from my crypt, then pay for the deed with my cards! Blast it all! Had I those very cards at the tournament in Belhaven, I'd still be alive. It's your fault, you pox incarnate, that they stabbed me to death.
They murdered you for your debts. I had nothing to do with it.
Come, I heed this good book-thumping wench. Mind, I know well where she hid those cards. I'll tell you myself, as soon as you've removed her.
Need to think about it. All right, gotta move one of them out.
Thus spake the prophet Lepiota. Thou shalt not play for coin.
After which he promptly added, "For you shall have none left for me!"
Heretic, shut your mouth! I shall speak to you no more!
No, no, it is I who shall speak to you no more, you old tart!
No, wait. If you truly must do this, then please, at the least, deposit me somewhere pleasant.
All the same to me. Where do you want to go?
Take me to my mother's grave. It's in the old cemetery just outside the city walls. A lovely spot, almost on the lakeshore. The flora there, it's extraordinary, really.
Extraordinary flora. Where is it exactly?
Beneath the outspread arms of a chestnut, the tombstone bears my mother's name, Micheline Belrose. To think I failed to heed her when she warned me about that lout.
Sir Conan of Bray End died of over-titillation while witnessing an act of unicorniposisphilia. Interesting. But not what I'm looking for. Micheline Belrose. This is it. Wow, that's done. Remove the urn with Margot's ashes, just like you wanted. Louis, you there? Should have known he'd stand me up. All right, if that's how you want to play it.
Please, put me back. Yes, I'm a fraud. I lied to you. I've no notion where the cards are, but I shall think of something. Just wait. Got it. A swordsmith. Trentin's the name. I skinned him at Gwent once, but he had no coin, so he promised me the pride of his collection, a lovely blade. Finely fashioned. I passed on before I could get it, but you could collect it in my stead. Just tell him Louis de Corentin sent you.
The dead Louis de Corentin?
That could indeed prove problematic. But if... I know. The man's a gambler, inveterate. His wife forced him to seek help, hypnosis or some such. She believes Trentin no longer touches cards, would wager her virtue on it. Were she to learn he still plays Gwent, well, he'd be in a deep doodaloo.
Thanks.
Best steel in all of Toussaint. Take a gander.
Here to collect Louis de Corentin's sword.
Ha! That's rich. De Corentin's dead. Who are you? His brother? His lover? Louis never mentioned either.
Maybe so, but he told me a bit about you. Heard you used to play a little Gwent. Had a habit, in fact, till your wife helped you kick the addiction. Real treasure, wife like that.
Ah, the bumpoke. Here I thought I might hang it over the mantle again, with Louis gnawing radishes from the underside. But it seems I must. So be it. The sword's yours. But don't leave me high and dry. Give me a chance to win back my dignity at least. Perhaps a round or three for coin?
What about the wife? Not afraid she'll...
In my home, what I say stands. Women have got no power. Besides which, the wife's away for a few days visiting her sister in Belhaven. So, shall we play?
No thanks. Think I'll pass this time.
Bambot. But a no's a no. I'll not insist, nor beg. Your loss.
Take care now. Noises at the cemetery. You the one they bother?
Yes, and I'm alone in that, it seems. That is, no one else has bothered to take any steps, though all must hear the racket.
Took care of it.
Truly? The howling's gone? For good? Wonderful! Ah, to sleep in my own bed again, at long last. But, what was it? Some ancient filth entombed deep in the catacombs?
Yeah, really tough, demanding fight. Barely made it out alive.
Is it your codex? Forbids you from revealing the details? For the best, I dare say. There's a small premium for you. You've earned it.
Viking Wars. I've really got plenty around here. agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind. But we did not meet, so I could prove how very original I am.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Detlef wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Detlef's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Detlef was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Detlef's hideout.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I, in turn, gave it to Detlef. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Can't you just summon Detlef? You're both hired vampires. There's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Detlef. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Kovinaris spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Detlef's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
Everyone's got some secret.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe it wise at times to share one's secrets, unburden oneself to those one can trust.
This your sophisticated way of asking me if I trust you?
I prefer almost always to ask you directly. It seems a test of intelligence, one you just passed.
Maybe you should go first. Reveal one of your secrets. After all, you vampires lead very interesting lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, but first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand or move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. What of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Ooh. Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now. Got a new life, a new body. That give you a new start? Blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detlef recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment. Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate. It's covered in spoons.
Spoons.
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.